Hello and welcome to the 8th video in this series showing you how to restore a Triumph Herald or Vitesse. In this video I'm going to show you how to repair the bottom of the doors, fit new door skins, and if you prefer to repair your door skins rather than replacing them, I'm going to show you how to do this at the end of the video. As you can see here, this door is very badly corroded. I could just repair the door skin and the bottom of the door frame. In view of the amount of corrosion, I suspect there's a lot more going on inside than you can see here. I will have to remove the door skin for inspection, and since I'm going to remove the door skin, I'd rather just fit new skins. The best way to remove the door skin is to grind right round the folded lip round the door, then just snap it off as shown here. Make sure you grind through this tab on the door skin side and not on the door frame side, as the new door skin will have a tap on it. Just as well I removed the door skin. Lots of rusting in here, but now I've removed the skin, I can have the door media blasted on the inside as well as the outside. It looks like this door has had the bottom repaired before. They failed to put the rain channel and drain holes back in, which is why it has rotted away again so badly. I will now start the repairs on this corner, leaving the side and bottom flange in place until after the repair piece has been fitted. It will then give me a new edge to work from for the new bottom flange. Now the corner and bottom flange are in place, I can now start on the other corner. It's much easier to do this corner in two pieces, as shown here. To weld along the bottom of the door, you should clamp it down in place with as many clamps as possible. This will stop the distortion while you weld it, and then weld it as shown and explained in video number 2 of this series. After welding the bottom, grind the weld smooth to allow the water to drain into the drainage channel at the bottom. Now the door repairs are done, I can have the door media blasted and painted before fitting the new skin. Now that it's been blasted and painted, don't forget to drill the drain holes in the bottom of the door. I have Schutz the inside of the door skin to help with the sound deadening. You should put seam sealer all around the door flange before fitting the new skin. This should extend the life of the door before it needs repairing again. To fit the new skin, bolt it through here and clamp it here. Then turn the door over and clamp it along the bottom edge as shown. Then make sure the swage lines on the door skin line up exactly with the swage lines on the door frame. Tap the flange on the door skin over to about 45 degrees, then with a pair of crimping pliers you can crimp the joint. When that is done you can tighten the joint up with a hammer and dolly as shown here. If you look here closely you'll see a joggle in the door frame which runs all the way along the bottom just above the crimped joint. This is the rain channel. It is there to allow the water to drain away through the holes. Look closely at these holes. You'll see the bottom of the holes are in line with the top of the sealed joint. After you have crimped all round the door, it's important that you do not weld it yet. You should fit the door back on the car. Check that it's not twisted and that it fits flush with the rear wing. If it's twisted as you can see here, then this is how you get the twist out. Jam a piece of wood in the door and force the door shut until the twist is out of the door. Then you can weld the door as shown here. The rest of the door just has a few tack welds in the corners, as it was in the factory. There is no need for any other welds. If you weld the door before getting the twist out, you will never get the twist out afterwards, and this will piss you off forevermore. Next, if you feel you would rather repair the bottom of your door skin instead of replacing the whole door skin, carry on watching. As you can see here, all the bottom of the door is completely corroded. So I've run the grinder over the door to expose the metal. You can see this door has been repaired before with lots of body filler to hide the corrosion. I suspect there's a lot more going on inside than you can see here. There's no point in messing around. I'll just remove the bottom of the door skin to have a look inside. The best place to cut the bottom of the door skin off is about 10mm below the swage line. At this point, the door skin is more rigid, so when you weld your new repair piece in place, there would be less chance of distortion. After cutting through the door skin, grind the bottom of the door until you see a crack appearing. Then push your chisel or screwdriver into the crack and bend it back. This will snap off the bottom lip, enabling you to lift the bottom of the door skin up, like so. As I expected, lots of corrosion here. I'll run a rotary wire brush over this so as to inspect it closely. Just two major areas of concern which needs attention. I will fit some inserts in here. The rest should clean up okay. I will treat this with some chemical rust remover. Make sure you grind the welds nice and smooth to allow the water to run into the rain channel and escape through the drain holes. Now I've treated it with chemical rust remover and primed with red oxide paint. Now it's time to try on the repair panel which I've made from 1.2mm galvanized steel. You can buy these ready-made if you wish from most Triumph suppliers. If you look closely, you'll see a joggle along the top. This will stiffen up the edge of the panel, which will help to prevent weld distortion. I've positioned the repair panel so as to leave a 3mm space to do the welding in, and I've also underlapped the repair panel to do a lap joint rather than a butt joint. This will also help prevent any weld distortion. Now you may think this should be a butt weld. I find over many years of doing these repairs, this method works best for me. Inside the door, you can run a bead of sealer all over the joints, or just wax oil after the painting has been done. When you tack the two panels together, you're causing the panels to bow as you push it down to close the gap. I find it better to use a strong magnet, but don't tack too near the magnet for obvious reasons. Next I applied some black paint and then a layer of seam sealer before refitting the repair panel. You should put your stitch welds about every 15mm. No need to fully weld. This will cause distortion. After this, you can turn the door over, close the joint with crimping pliers and a hammer and dolly. Then you can weld the corners, and that's all the welding that's needed underneath. They didn't weld any more in the factory because it's just not necessary. Next, I stripped the door to bare metal, ready for painting. I then cleaned the door with a clean and strip wheel, ready for body filler wherever necessary. When all the prepping was finished, I then painted it with epoxy primer, followed by 3 coats of black gloss. To get a really good finish on the paintwork, I flattened the door with a 2000 wet and dry, and now I'm finishing it off with a 3000 wet and dry. After this, I buffed it with Ferecla G3 . Then I will polish it with Ferecla G10 and a fine polishing mop. Oh yeah, that looks like you could use it for a shaving mirror. If you tune into my next video on this Vitesse, I'll be doing repairs to the bonnet. I'll see you then. If you would like to see this Vitesse being fully restored with lots of detail from this to this, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel.